We think that the peaceful revolution in East Germany was very interesting because it's one of the rare cases in history where mass protest actually helped to bring down an autocratic regime, and this led to a situation where today we have democratic elections and individual freedoms. So it was quite important. And why did we choose the church and the pastors? So the church was quite important in the peaceful revolution because they retained some independence of the socialist state. They created space, so the churches for the opposition groups, and pastors became key figures because they openly criticized the government and they helped connecting the opposition groups, and they convinced also people to go to the streets during the prayers. And some famous examples are Joachim Gauck, who later became president of Germany, but also Führer, Wonneberger or Eppelmann. So the problem in closed autocratic regimes such as East Germany is that the flow of information is very difficult. For example, in East Germany, the national television did not report on any mass protests. Very few people had phones, so the flow of information was difficult, and the opposition was highly repressed and spied on by the Stasi. So what we do in our study is we look at whether pastor connections between cities actually can predict the spread of protests between cities. So pastors were better able to have this flow of information because they gathered often in regional and national meetings. They had telephones to speak to each other, and this is how they could connect opposition groups. They could fuel the protest in their prayers. And what we find is, for example, if I live in Potsdam, and Potsdam is very connected through the pastors to Rostock, and in Rostock there is a protest happening in the previous week, it's more likely to spread to Potsdam. So what we did is we collected biographies of over 1,800 pastors in East Germany, and we defined a connection between pastors when they studied together at the same time and the same location, or if they worked together at the same time at the same location. And what we found surprising is that how well the pastor connections could actually predict the spread of protests. How did we make sure that these results are not driven by other factors? So first of all, we included city fixed effects. This excludes all time invariant factors of cities, for example, the distance to the border or previous unrest. So connections become only important when there's a protest in the previous week in a connected city. Second, what we did is we looked at almost connections. So we looked at connections between pastors that almost happened, but pastors missed each other by 1 or 2 years in the same location, and we show that this does not drive our results. And this gives us confidence that our results are robust and can be interpreted causally. Yeah, so I think that trust-based networks and social leaders in today's context are still very important, like in autocratic regimes such as Saudi Arabia, Belarus, or Russia. And of course, Twitter, Facebook, and other internet social networks exist, and a spread of information could occur there as well. But in autocratic regimes, the social networks are very restricted. So I think that social leaders and their connections, like religious figures, but also activists and union leaders, they can become very crucial to connect opposition groups and to fuel mass protests and in the end tackle an authoritarian regime.